Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina. It is Sunday, it is June 5th, and I have a little bit of a stitching update for you. I decided today that I was going to hit another prompt, and I had one of my whips that I could use for two prompts. They were 300 stitches each, so I had to stitch for the first prompt and make a picture and post it, and then stitch another 300 for the second prompt. And I went ahead and took a picture and posted for that and did all of my explanation of why it fit and whatnot that was required. And then I decided it was just too late to pick up anything else, and I would just stitch a little more on this because I am working on my winter Quaker. And I am working on this big old motif right here. That's where I'm at. So I'm right in here, and I would say that's roughly halfway. Once I get this big motif, I might be slightly over halfway. You know, not quite 2/3. But anyway, that's what I've been working on. So today I did the first 300 stitches, as I said. Then I did the second, it was 306 and 333. And then I kept going, so that meant it was 639, cause math, Stephanie. But then I went ahead and stitched even more stitches. I stitched 152 more stitches, just kind of stitching what little bit of time I had left. And now I hit 791 stitches total on this piece today. So here's where I'm at. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, the picture doesn't do it justice, but it is really, really pretty. The good news is the last time you saw this, I had completed this outer border. I had worked my way around that whole border, and I was so tickled about it. Then today, I have completed this entire inner border, and there are stitches all around there, even in here that you can hardly see, little stitches. Then I started the corners. This is the first corner piece. It's down to the center, and I've started going on past down to the bottom because it'll be mirrored down here. And then there are two sides that go this way that look exactly the same, and that gives you the bulk of the centerpiece, or at least the structure for the centerpiece. But this is a very intricate motif, very intricate, so it's taking me a little while, several sessions on it, but I think 791 stitches was a great progress on it today. So I am very excited about it. This is the called for fabric. This is the dwarf. Picture this plus that's called for on it. I've already loosened it up because I'm ready to put it away for this month. But got two big prompts with it today. Was really happy about that. So tomorrow I am hopefully going to get lots of time to stitch. We'll see. But I have multiple prompts that I'm going to be going for on my Hawk Run Hollow. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. In case you were wondering, I don't know if I mentioned what I had on my schedule of what I was hoping to stitch, but yesterday I was going to try to stitch on Nativity. But then I realized that wasn't going to work with all that we had going on yesterday with the movie and all that stuff. So instead, I moved it out, and I've put it at the end of all of my other calendar entries that I have. And so it's later in the month before I bring that one out. So I am trying to hit all my prompts as quickly as I can, so that by the say around the 24th or so, I've hit every prompt, and I can just focus then on seeing if there's something I could bring to a finish this month. I would love to get one of my big pieces that I've been working on for a long time finished this month. I would love to do that. I don't think I'm far enough along on this one to do that, but I'm thinking I might be far enough along on crabapple tree that I could finish it this month. We will see. I would love to do that. So I'm going to put this away. I'm going to wish you a good night, and I hope that I have some more stitching to share with you very soon. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi everyone, welcome back. It is June the 6th and a Monday, and I am back to give you a bit of a stitching update today. Well, it has been a good day of stitching. I had mentioned yesterday when I spoke with you last that I was hoping for a good day of stitching, and the reason that I was planning on that is I didn't have any meetings today, and I did have a Zoom stitching meeting for tonight, so I was hoping to get lots of good stitching today, and I'm not disappointed. So today I did pull out my Hog Run Hollow. That was the one I had mentioned I wanted to work on, and I wanted to work on this one because I was going for 4 prompts with this thing. I wanted to get a good amount of stitching in on it, and I wanted to try to cross off some of those prompts off my list. So each of the prompts required 300 stitches. So I did that 3 times today. 3. Because on one of them I could double dip because it was in a different Facebook group. So let me tell you what I did. When I started today, I had just the single color of the rainbow, the very top color of the rainbow stitched, and that was all I had done on Hawk Run Hollow on that second square so far. So today, the prompts that I was trying to stitch for included one in the 24 hours of cross stitch acrostic kit up your joy, and I used it for the U. And the U stood for under a topper because this is a topper for this design, or a header, whichever you want to call it. But since this is under the topper, I felt like that qualified. Now in my 24 hours of cross stitch, I don't have to do a set number of stitches. I usually try for at least 200, but there's no requirements. You put them on yourself. But since I was using that same stitching time for one of my other Facebook groups that required 300 stitches, that's exactly what I did for those first 2 prompts. I stitched 300 stitches, and that was for my longest project in height, the tallest project I had. Now I know you might think Pandemic would be bigger, but Pandemic goes across and down, so it's not as tall as this one. This one's nowhere near as wide, but it is the tallest of the 2. I have checked that in the past because I had that same prompt in another group once before, and I had to figure out which one was my tallest whip. So that's what this was used for, the first 300 stitches. The second 300 stitches turned out to be 347, and I used it for a prompt in my June monthly challenge as well, and it was for the zodiac calendar. You had to do a whip that you could tie back to the zodiac calendar. So what I decided to pick was Gemini because it's in this time frame anyway. In June, it goes through June 21st. And Gemini stands for twins. And here I have these 2 little girls that to me could very well represent twin girls. So I picked this to meet that prompt as well because I'm calling these little girls twins. In my Hawk Run, they're twins. So anyway, that allowed me to meet that prompt with that 347 stitches. It was at least 300. It was over, so that was good. Then I wanted to go for another prompt, and that prompt was in one of the other challenges, but it's in the same Facebook group, so I couldn't count these stitches toward it. I had to stitch another set of at least 300 stitches, and it was the prompt to stitch on a whip that has a house on it, and the bigger the better. Well, I have a house. It's not a big house, but it is the one I have. So I stitched my final 331 stitches on Hawk Run Hollow because even the one I'm working on has a house in it. I actually wound up stitching the house today. So here's where I got to. And if you add all of that up, it's 978 stitches that I got done today. Almost 1,000 stitches, 978 in this piece. Now, that may not look like 978 stitches to you, but it is. I did the rest of the rainbow, every color. I did this entire house, every color in that house. And I did all the grass, all the way across. So I counted as I went. I marked off every stitch. I put pictures and posted. And so I am thrilled that my Hawk Run Hollow, I was able today to get 4 prompts with that one whip. Of course, I got a lot of stitches in that whip too, which was wonderful. So I thank you for letting me share that with you. I have thoroughly enjoyed my stitching today. I have plans for tomorrow. I get to talk to my sister Stephanie in the morning, and then hopefully I can stitch in the afternoon. So I haven't looked at my prompts yet. I just got off my Zoom call where I was stitching with several friends tonight, and I was really tickled because my friend Donna and I were the last 2 on the Zoom call, and it was getting sort of late, and I was afraid that she was staying up just for me. And I said, well, I'm at a good stopping point here. I've finished the grass. I've hit my next prompt, and so I'm excited. I'm done. And she said, well, I only have a few stitches left to finish this house I'm stitching, and I want to do that. And I said, well, I'm right here with you till you do. So she did. It was great. It's fun when you can sit and talk with a friend and encourage them, and you can hit small goals together simply because you've got someone sitting there stitching with you until you're finished, which is wonderful. So I hope you've had a great day of stitching. I hope that you are, however you like to do it, whether you like to stitch whatever you want when you want, whether you like to meet little goals as you go, whether you are a monogamous stitcher and you're just stitching for the pleasure of it. Any way you stitch, I'm just glad that you're enjoying the same craft that I love so much, and I wish you much happiness with every stitch that you do. So until I have something to share with you later this week, happy stitching. Hello everyone, welcome back. It is June 7th. It is Tuesday, and I'm here to give you my update of what I've stitched so far today. It has been a great day. I got to talk to my sister Stephanie this morning, which was fabulous. And then I was able to have lunch with my husband, and that was wonderful. We had a wonderful conversation and good time together. And then I was able to come home and get started stitching. So today, because I was talking with my sister this morning, and I have a Zoom meeting for church, one of my committees at church tonight, I thought, oh, I'm not going to get to stitch for a long period of time on anything, so I need to get something that I can stitch on that a small amount will be fine, you know, that I've been working on. As it turned out, I have a prompt in the Queen Elizabeth week. That was the extra prompt I added in because it was Friday and we got a new one. And I have a prompt there called Work on a Whip that has animals in it because, you know, she has corgis and that sort of thing. So I decided to pull out the piece that I'm working on that's a gift. So, sister, if you're watching, please look away. I pulled this one back out. And as you know, I was working kind of on this side, and I made a great deal of progress on it, and I just want to share that with you. I actually did 407 stitches because I wanted to finish this little thing right here. I didn't want to leave it 3/4 of the way done. So I actually was able to come over here and do this leaf, these 2 things here, this whole motif, fill in the white here, add this and add that. I did quite a bit of the stitching there. So if you can see where I'm at now, you will see I only have a couple of little things on that side, and then I can start working my way across the top, and I can concentrate on the other side of that center motif right there. So I'm loving the colors. I think they're beautiful. This is still not filled in because there is one color that the reason I didn't have it when I started it is that I didn't have it at all. I don't have it in my stash, not even my master set of DMC, which I try to keep for emergencies like that, but I'd already pulled it. Didn't realize it must be a popular color right now. So anyway, I have it on my board over here. I have a dry erase board, and I've written on there, you know, what I need from the store. So I took a picture of it, and my plan is that tomorrow, when I get an opportunity to go out and about, I plan on stopping by and picking that up. Stephanie, you can look back now. So that is what I've gotten done so far today. I'm going to put my pattern and threads and things away because it is still early enough that I think I might be able to meet another prompt. We'll see. I still have supper to cook, but I've got a lot of it already prepped, and so I'm thinking I might be in good shape for that. And if I'm lucky, I could get one more prompt stitch today, and I think that would be fun. If I do, I'll either share it with you tonight or maybe in the morning when I come back to stitching. Tomorrow should be a good day for stitching. The only thing I have on my calendar for tomorrow is choir practice, which isn't until tomorrow evening. So we'll see. If all goes well, I should have a good day of stitching. So I hope you have, and I hope you are, if you are a goal setter, that you are hitting your goals. And if you are enjoying stitching along with me, or I got so tickled today. One of the comments that I received, I had mentioned in my last video something about I hope you were stitching with me. And one of my precious viewers, because she comments quite frequently, she said, oh, frogging, I am frogging with you. She said, then I'll get back to stitching. Oh, my heart went out to her. Anyway, I hope you're stitching, and I hope you're not frogging. Anyway, happy stitching, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It is still the 7th of June, and I wanted to share with you a little bit more stitching that I did today. I wanted to try to get one more prompt done, so I looked at all of the prompts I have recorded that I want to work on this month, and I found one project that I could do that was not in any prompts that required a set number of stitches, and I thought that's what I want to do because I didn't have a whole lot of time tonight after doing the scheduled Zoom call for the church. I thought, well, I can do the acrostics because they don't have a required number of stitches, and so since I just like to set a goal for 200, that's what I'm going to go for. So I pulled out one of my newest starts, my 4th May Monday start, and this is Autumn in the Country. It's a Jan Lynn pattern that I think is absolutely beautiful. And I had gotten a little bit of the border done when I got it started, and the last time I worked on it, that was what I had finished, was part of this border. I did half the border, and then I did the other half of the border, and I had gotten a little bit of the top done. So tonight I finished this second color in the border. There are 3, and I finished this all the way across, and when I got over here, it didn't line up with this outer border. It was off, and I thought, okay, let me see how bad it is. So I went on down in here, and I started this next border, which is the outer line of this orange kind of wavy thing that goes all the way around the design. And I counted it very carefully and started it, and I went all the way around to here, and when I got over here where it meets up with this border, I counted the spaces that I need for the stitches in the border, the stitches and the spaces in the border. I'm 1 stitch off. I counted this wrong. I have 1 extra stitch in that border. If I had 2, that would be fine. I could have 1 on each side, but I only have 1. So what that means is at some point in time, and I'll just make a note of this in my chart, I need to go in here and frog this side of the border all the way down, come in 1 stitch and put it back in. So I'll be able to do that, not a problem. I can do it at any time. I just know it's there and I have to make myself a note of it. You can see I left my thread hanging parked because I had to figure out what was wrong, and that's what was wrong. So this confirmed it, but I wanted to make sure I was going to have the right amount of room for this border because it's so important. This border is so important. These I can fudge easily enough, but this border was really critical, I felt like. So now I know what's wrong with it. Unfortunately, I just put 1 too many stitches in there. I just miscounted at some point going across the top. I was at the beach, might have gotten, distracted or something, but that's not terrible. I can pull that out really quick. What I'm thinking I'm gonna do is cut it in the middle. I have to see where, I can see where some ends of the threads are tied off, and I can just back it back up, come over 1 and come back down, and then do the same thing from the middle down. And I hopefully can use the same floss. We'll see. Anyway, that is my prompt that I met. I did stitch 210 stitches. So I used this to meet the prompt in 24 hours across stitch for the letter J, and that letter stands for Just Nan, who is the designer. And then in the monthly magazine challenge, we had to come up with a prompt for each of the letters in floral. So for me, the first F I said stood for a fall project, and I selected Autumn in the Country as my fall project. So this whip today at 210 stitches, and my new discovery, meets the prompts. So 2 prompts met this evening. I'm feeling really, really productive about that. And now I will let you get back to what you were doing, and where you don't have to look up so much at me showing you all these little nuances. And I hope you enjoy your stitching. Thanks for letting me share that with you. We all make errors and mistakes. I'm thrilled that I caught it now, and I'm thrilled that it's going to be fairly easy to fix. I don't have to frog a whole lot. So that's a relief. Anyway, I may get up in the morning and fix it just so that when I pack it away, it's not messed up. Probably will. So anyway, I hope you have a great afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and I hope to get to talk to you in a few days. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Tina. Today is the 8th of June, and I'm here to share with you some finishing that I've done today. I took a little mental break today. I have been stitching a lot. I've been stitching for double prompts, where I've been stitching up to 900 and something stitches a day, been stitching pretty late in the night. And so today I slept in a little bit, took Coco for a walk. I went and bought some groceries. I did come up here to get started stitching, and the piece that I was to work on, I have to stitch 300 stitches in it, and it is all confetti. And so far I've only gotten 116 stitches in all day because I just kept getting interrupted today. Today was a crazy day, and we had choir practice tonight, so just not any good solid stitching time. I was up and down, up and down, up and down. So instead, I decided that I would do finishing today. I was in the mood to do it. I had to go to Hobby Lobby and pick up some threads anyway. And so I thought, I think I'm gonna make today a finishing day. So the first thing I worked on was my retreat piece. So this is called Red Threads. and it was intended to be on this hoop box. So I finished the stitching. I started and finished the stitching while I was at the beach. That was one of the things I wanted to get done, because when I had stained the hoops, my friend Donna brought her stain over, and I stained the hoops, and then I distressed this a little bit because this fabric is vintage country mocha, and I love that color, and I felt like this was a good match to that, so I distressed that a little bit. And then I put felt on the bottom and put my hinge on today, and voila, I have a lined box. This hoop finish is great. Now, you may say, Dina, you've got one of these backwards. Yeah, I do. I learned a lot on this. I've never done one of these before. And in my mind, I thought, there's no way I can get a hinge back here to attach over here for the front, so the hinge has to go over here. But somehow in my mind, I had thought I could turn it around and put the hinge on the inside. I was going to put the hinge in here and then here, so that I would only have one piece of this hardware in the front, and that could serve as a handle without worrying about scraping my fingers against this. Kind of think that's what it was supposed to be. I don't know. For some reason, I had that in my head. And that is why this handle is turned the opposite direction, because I had turned it around and I fit everything on it to go this way. So I wound up not being able to do that, to figure that out. The hinge on the inside created a big gap, and it wouldn't close properly. So I had to turn it around. I had to put the hinge on the outside, and I had to keep all the hardware together. But it's okay. I learned on it. But isn't it pretty? So if you're looking for a unique finish, these are 6 hoops that are just, 5 of them are glued together to form the box. I glued them with Aleene's craft glue. Put a book on them, weight them down, and let them get good and solid. And then I took one of the boards and I covered it in the fabric, and then I put felt on the bottom so it wouldn't scratch or my furniture, and I got that all ready. I put this wooden piece on the bottom of this hoop to create the well to put my fabric in, because I was able to put batting on here and just wrap all of that fabric around that circle, and I just gathered it up like one of those little yo-yos, I guess you do in quilting, and tied it, sewed it up really nice and tight on the back and popped it down in there. Fits in there beautifully. So my friend Donna, when we were at the retreat, she went upstairs and saw this Lady Dot Creates little pom-pom, and she got some for herself, and she called me and said, do you want the dark or the light? And I said, I want the dark. And so she got the dark and gifted it to me. Thank you, Donna. So I have it finished, my retreat finish. So now that means I have my retreat finish from Julie McConnell's retreat, my stitching needfuls, and now I have my retreat finish from our guild retreat. So I'm really happy about that, and I can put them together over there so that I can store all of my stitching needfuls on my table. Now the other thing, I said I did some finishing today. The other thing that I've done that I'm not ready to show you yet because it's still in process, I have my flat fold I'm putting together for Ellen, Stephanie's mother, my adopted mom, for her Christmas present this year. I went in my fabric stash and I found the perfect fabric for it. And so now I've got that ready. I've got to press it all out. I put my batting on my first board for the flat fold, because you put batting between the front, your stitched piece, you know, and the board. I've got that all drying over there. So I'm hoping to get onto that this weekend. And I picked my fabric for my Christmas stockings, and it's not my initial fabric I thought I was going to use. I kept looking at it and I kept thinking, no, that fabric looks too much like the front. There's no contrast. There's nothing to be complimentary to it. So I went back in my fabric stash. I found something really pretty. So I have it ready to iron, and I have to iron my 2 stockings, and then I'll make my little ornaments. And I'll take a picture of them, and after I gift them, I'll show them to you. But one of the things I did today was frame a piece. Sorry, I bumped my stand. I have mentioned before, and I have shared with you frames that I have picked up in secondhand stores, and recently I came home and shared a wonderful find. I had been at one of the consignment shops, or this, actually I think this is a charity shop. Their proceeds go to Habitat for Humanity. And I was in there, and they had a big sign on the wall above a bunch of picture frames and pictures, and it said, all pictures $5, no matter what size. All pictures $5. And I think I showed you some of the real big ones that I got for $5. Well, one of the prettiest ones I got for $5, I just knew I wanted to use it immediately. And I came home and I looked at what I had that was stitched that could go in there. And I fell in love with this combination. And it's a different fit because it's not an even border all the way around. The top and bottom are even, and the sides are right up to the edge. So it's a little different, but you know what? I like it. I don't mind it at all. It actually looks quite pretty to me. I don't know why. I just love it. I love the frame with the piece. So I'm going to turn it around and share it with you. Today I went and found, I was going to go to Hobby Lobby and buy, have them cut me a piece of foam core so I could lace this and then come home and pop it in this frame, because this morning I spent some time cleaning it and really cleaning it, and then I got to looking in my finishing supplies, and I had a piece that was just the perfect size, so I didn't have to go anywhere to get this done. I got it done here at the house this morning. So excited. So the picture that I picked, the project that I picked to frame, I picked because it goes with this frame and I wanted to use it. So just one more finish, you know, that I've been able to fully finish. So this is my Hello Winter. Now, yeah, this was a $5 picture frame. Can you believe that? And it came just like this with the beautiful white matte boarding and the filigree in it. So yeah, gorgeous, huh? I love it. The red in this frame, I hope you can see that it's red. It's a dark burgundy red with sort of a black. Every other roll is red and every other roll is black. But if you look in the Hello Winter, I've got that dark burgundy red in the flower and the bird, and there's black right next to that red in that bird, and so that just looked so perfect to me together. The white matte brings out the snowflakes and the white in the lamb. I think it helps pull that out to your eye. And the greens in this piece are a green gold, and there's sort of a golden color in the swirls in that lamb's fur, and I think that just matches this gold so well. And you see how swirled the gold is? I just think it's a nod back to what's going on in the picture. I love it. Just love it. So you see what I'm saying? How the sides go all the way. I mean, they're not covering any stitches. They're right up at it, but no stitches are covered. They're just touching the edge on the 2 sides. But you know what? I still like it. I'm not mad about it. Anyway, what a success. I love it. I hope you do. Um, would it have been nice if the edges could have been the same border all the way around? Yes. But you know what? Custom framing this like this would have been over $300. I know. I checked it out. This was $5. I can afford to frame a whole lot more stuff for $5, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I hope you like it. I certainly did. So I hope you've had a great day today. I certainly have. I'm so glad I got some finishing done. I had kind of been waiting to do that, and it was starting to pile up on my table over there. So we'll call that a success. Enjoy your stitching, enjoy your finishing. I hope that if you have things to finish that you will. Work on that. Try something new. I tried that little, hoop box. I learned a lot on it. I'll still use it. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect. I will use it. It serves a function. So, and every time I look at it, I'll be happy because it'll remind me of that retreat. So give things a try. I encourage you to do that. In the meantime, everybody, happy stitching. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It is June 9th. It is Thursday, and I spent a good deal of my day today with several lovely ladies. There were 7 of us that gathered, and we played canasta, had lunch together, and then we played Rummy Cube. Anyway, it was delightful. I had not seen these ladies for several weeks because of our traveling schedule and whatnot. And so it was wonderful just to catch up with everybody. But if you saw my previous segment, you'll know that I did not finish a prompt yesterday. I stitched only 116 stitches or so yesterday. So today I came in and finished it up and got up to 302 stitches. So I've got my prompt. I'm excited about that. I'll remind you, I'm stitching on Mr. Mittens for a Christmas present. And if, in case you can't tell, you see all those different colors. It's a lot of confetti, and that slowed me down yesterday, and I'm delighted that I got it done today. So here's my progress. You can actually see some progress. I was able to finish this end of his scarf completely, even with the fringe back stitching. And I was able to do a large portion of the sleeve here. And I've started on the last little cuff here before I get to the mittens that are out here. So I'm working my way kind of down on this side. And I think once I finish his arm here, I'll come back over and kind of get that side over there to match it. But that's pretty good. It is teeny tiny. It is on linen, and I just have a much harder time seeing those threads on linen because they're not the same size. But the color was perfect, and the size of the piece of fabric was perfect. So I'm going to use it for this one, and I'm going to just be very careful and try to get it right. Anyway, I think it's precious, and I'm loving the picture. I'm loving how it's turning. I am changing out a couple of colors, putting a little more blue here or a little more pink there, just because I feel like it flows a little better. I don't need quite so much color changing. It's got enough already, but I am enjoying it. It's just, I think I was just a little tired yesterday, and when I wound up working on something with so much confetti and I didn't get my prompt, I think it was a little disheartening. But I gave myself a little pep talk and said, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you get the prompt. You got the whole month to get all the prompts. And you have this gift, and it's not for this Christmas. It's for next Christmas. So don't put pressure on yourself. So I feel much better. I have plenty of time. I'm not going to stress over it. And so I'm going to put it away now. I'm taking it off my Q-snap, and I will be putting it up for right now. And then I will get out my spreadsheet over here and I will look and see what do I want to tackle next. It is 9:30, so it's a little early to go to bed yet, but I don't want to really tackle anything that's like, I don't want to tackle my Teresa Winsler tonight. So something that I can see easily, something that'll move smoothly, that's probably what I'll be working on. So tomorrow, when I finish my next prompt, which won't be tonight, it'll be tomorrow, I will let you know. I'll come back and share it with you. But thanks for letting me show you Mr. Mittens. He's quite a cutie. I hope you're having a good day of stitching, and I'll check in with you soon. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is Friday, June 10th. My name is Dina, and this is my channel about cross stitch, in case you've just wandered in. But I hope that you are a returning viewer or a new viewer, and that you're interested in seeing the different projects I'm working on. Today I'm going to share with you my Enchanted alphabet. This is one of the pieces that I'm working on for my Animal Adventure Challenge this year, and want to show you what I got done today. I was working on this for Animal Adventures, and on that challenge I like to get 300 stitches if I can, because if I get 300 stitches for all 8 animals, I earn the right to change my projects out whenever I want to. And I find that attractive, because then if I get bored, tired, or I have something I'm pushing to a finish, then I can definitely work on it for the month coming up. So I enjoy earning that right, even if I don't use it every month. I've only used it twice so far. But one of my 3 projects is Enchanted Alphabet. So today I pulled it out. I looked at my other prompts, and as it turns out, I was also stitching on this for 24 hours of cross stitch and for my monthly magazine challenge. For my monthly magazine challenge, it was for an L, which stood for Lavender and Lace, which is the designer of this piece. And then for 24 hours of cross stitch, it was for something else. Let me double check here for you. It was for Y in Kit Up Your, Y-O-U-R, and that Y stood for Young Girl, that is featured in the Enchanted Alphabet. So let me show you where I've gotten to so far. This is where I'm at. I took it off the Q-snap today because I'm going to be putting it up for the rest, probably the rest of the month. I don't know. Anyway, I want to talk to you more specifically about what I worked on today, so I'll try to fold it where I can hold it for you to see it and for me to see what I'm talking about at the same time. There we go. So I have been working on the little girl, and you can see I've got various portions of her dress done as I was working on various colors. But I am now working toward the bottom of the dress. So what I did is I came down here. I had worked around in here. I came down here and I finished the section of the dress before the ruffle. There's a back stitch line right here, and I used it as a guide just to cut it off there, and I did that first. And then I came over here and I worked off of the bottom of the dress into the ruffle, and I've actually gotten several little row or lines of stitching done that are shadowy areas that show folds. And then because I was able to come off of the dress to start the ruffle, I was able to do this little flower bouquet. I hadn't started that before. After I finished the M, I avoided it because it is sitting behind her ruffle. It actually goes behind her ruffle, or looks as if it does. So I wanted to make sure I had her ruffle in place before I did the flowers. So I did the rest of the bottom of that section of dress. I started the ruffle, and I did all of these flowers. And I actually wound up with 318 stitches total, which is great. So that is one of my advent animals found then. And the one I was working on was the fourth one, and it's a smack of jellyfish. I love when they tell us the names of what a group of these animals are called. That's the educational part for me. So it's a smack of jellyfish. So I got that done with my Enchanted alphabet. So that is my progress so far today. And I'm really happy that I've gotten a little more done on her, and I'm really happy to have those flowers done. That felt like a big accomplishment today because it's quite confetti heavy, and when I'm trying to get, a certain number of stitches, it's a little discouraging to do confetti because you do 2 or 3 stitches and change colors. This one is nice though. It was about 10 or 12 of each color if you did color completion, which is what I did, and that made it go a little bit better. So that's my progress so far, and I'll show you one more time how she's looking as a whole. So she's about the middle of the piece. So there we have it. I'm loving it. I think it looks really pretty on this fabric. I'm glad I chose the green to go there. So, I'm ready to put this away and post my animal adventure accomplishment, and then I can start working on another prompt. It's Friday, as I mentioned, and my husband's taking a very long run today in preparation for running his marathon in November. So I don't expect him home until mid-afternoon because he travels to where it's a little bit flatter because he has so far to run. And then as soon as he's run that long, he has to refuel, so he'll grab him a bite to eat, and then he'll usually will run a couple of errands on the way home if he can. If he needs to go by Costco or something like that, he'll do that, so that by the time he gets here, he's in for the day. I'm planning on cooking supper tonight, and Coco is just waiting patiently for him to come and take her for a long walk. So I'm hoping that he will do that pretty soon. But I am getting ready for our stitching day tomorrow, and I'm very excited about it because I'm looking forward to seeing some people that have said they were coming. I've got several maybes where people have signed up saying they might be able to come. And there are people who haven't been in a long time, so I'm really hoping some of them can. That would be awesome because we haven't seen each other since before COVID. So I'm looking forward to it. And I have decided that I'm going to take with me my By the Bay piece to stitch on tomorrow. I need to stitch on it 300 stitches for a prompt in my June monthly challenge, and so I might as well take it and stitch on it as much as I can while I'm there, and then when I get home, if I haven't hit 300 stitches, I can finish it off, and I'll at least have that prompt for the day, so that'll be good. So I have spent some time going through a little bit of stash this morning, previous charts that I have stitched. I've identified several items for the freebie table, and I'm also going to take several items for door prizes because these are really nice charts, and I'm looking forward to someone else stitching them. So I think I've just about got my bag packed for tomorrow, and that's another big thing I try to do today, so that'll be good. Well, that is my progress report so far today. If by any chance I get another prompt met, I'll be happy to come back tonight and share it with you. But in the meantime, happy stitching, everybody. Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Dina, and this segment is a book report for you. If you enjoy a good action thriller, a mystery, then I have a book for you. I have been listening to a book by James Patterson on audiobooks that I borrowed from the library, and the name of the book is Steal, Steal, Steal. And it is a great twist and turn story. I really enjoyed it. The main character that is telling the story is a former CIA agent who is now retired from the CIA, sort of early, I think. And he is now a college professor, and his specialty is human psychology, especially the psychology of killers, criminals, that sort of thing. Anyway, he is going along his normal life when a multi-billionaire approaches him, wanting him to work for him very briefly to locate his son, who supposedly committed suicide just the week before. Well, the father doesn't believe it, and he has reasons he doesn't believe it, which he tells the professor about. However, the professor turns him down and says, no, this is not what I do anymore. I don't work, for individuals and things like that. I've moved on from that. And the billionaire says, you haven't heard my offer yet. Well, I don't want to put any spoilers in here, but basically what happens is the billionaire has purchased the building where this professor's mate, partner in life, is working and volunteering, giving free legal services to people who can't afford it. And he's bought the building and he's kicking them out. And he's doing that to put this professor in the position of wanting to take the job, because his payment is to pay that charity, that legal service charity, a couple of $1 million so that they can expand and continue giving legal services for free, and an agreement for no future rent. Well, he's faced with the decision. His spouse is going to lose their job, and all these legal services are going to not be available anymore. Or he takes the job and he tries to find out if this man's son is still alive. So he really decides he has no choice, and he takes the job. And that's how you get started in the story. So I won't tell you any more of the answers to any of the questions, whether the boy is alive or not, whether he finds him or not. But I will tell you that the story goes into several different avenues, and it's up to James Patterson in the end to wrap up each and every one of those little avenues, those little side stories. Turns out that when you think you've got it solved and you think you're at the end of the story, then zing, there's a twist, and you go down this path over here that you didn't think was going to really be resolved or brought back up, and it is. So it was great. It was a great story. I was riveted to it. So I loved it. It was interesting. It was a twist. Every 2 or 3, times that I thought that the book was about to end and everything be wrapped up, then something else popped his little head up saying, what about me? What about this thing? So I enjoyed it. The characters were interesting, very interesting. They were all very different from different backgrounds. To accomplish his task, this former CIA agent winds up using his former CIA contacts with people and recruits a small team to help him with it. So it was interesting to hear, their relationships and how they had worked together in the past. And I think I remember some of these characters in previous stories from James Patterson. but it's been a while since I've read them. So it was a delightful story to hear, and I listened to it. I think over about 3 days while I was stitching, and thoroughly enjoyed it. So I recommend it. It got a thumbs up from me. And so if you really do like a really good mystery and a good twist and turn novel, then try out Steel by James Patterson.